come up with things that would need an opening song. So I sat down and wrote an opening song. Sorta. Load up a bowl or roll up a joint. It's time to tell me to get to the point. There's not many words that rhyme with joint. Writing songs is hard. So welcome to Gear Wizard TV. Say welcome to Gear Wizard TV. One more time. Welcome to Gear Wizard TV. Fuck it, let's light up.
That's right. It's time to light up. It's time for another episode of Gear Wizard TV. Welcome, potheads. As always, I am the wizard. And before we go any further, allow me to introduce my right hand man. He's the man that drives the van. He sometimes has a plan. There are some who call him JD. How are
Thank
you
you.
doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you, my friend. I'm happy to be here as always. And there's just one question that's first and foremost on my mind. What are you smoking tonight?
Oh, what am I smoking tonight? Where to start? So I picked this up last week, and I really had planned on having it on the show tonight, but it is once again from Bushy Beards because they are kind of my favorites. Blueberry muffin.
Everyone's favorite muffin.
A lot of time with these names, especially, it's like it's gonna smell like blueberries, and you smell it. Okay, it's a little fruity. Whatever. It's all right. It smells good. It smells like a fucking blueberry muffin. It's uncanny. I've never had weed that smelled this much like blueberry muffin in the jar. And then I took it out and I put it in the grinder and I ground it up. And when I opened the grinder, it was just like wafting off of the pan when you took it out of the oven.
That sounds amazing.
It's blueberry muffin. It doesn't smell like blueberries.
Right.
It smells like a muffin full of fucking blueberries.
They have like that buttery flavor to it, even.
The flavor, not as much. It doesn't taste like a
Aroma.
blueberry muffin. It tastes like weed, sadly. However, tonight it's gonna taste like blueberry because I couldn't resist. I got this cone from King
Blueberry cone.
Palm that's made out of crushed blueberries. It seemed like a no-brainer, right? You'd have done it.
I would have done it. I'm just a little worried that you're going to turn into a blueberry like in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Veruca
You're
salt.
turning violet, Mick.
It was Veruca salt.
It was Veruca Salt. Who did I say it was?
No, Veruca salt was not the one that turned into blueberry.
No, it was
You're
Violet.
right. That
You're
was
turning
Violet
Violet.
Beauregard.
Yeah.
That was Violet Beauregard because it was gum.
Yeah, Veruca Salt turned into gum.
No, Veruca salt
What happened to
was
Veruca Salt?
assaulted by
Geese.
the geese because she wanted a golden egg and she wanted it now.
That's right.
I want a Oompa Loompa, Daddy.
There aren't enough children's books about like kids getting maimed and murdered anymore. Now that Roald Dahl is gone.
You know what I love about that movie, though? The good
Everything.
one, Willy Wonka.
Right.
Not
Not
the
Johnny
Johnny
Depp.
Depp one. Oh God, no. Oh fuck that. But no, if you pay attention, every time they go to a different part of the factory, they're in a little vehicle. Right? Different
think so.
vehicle every time. Do you ever see an empty seat on that vehicle?
Now now I'm gonna have to go back and watch it, but just contextually, I'm gonna say no, you don't.
No, you don't. It's almost like he knew
Right.
that
Well, he
them
did.
kids was gonna.
Yeah, they were gonna die. He
They
knew,
didn't die. Did they die? Did they just meet a horrible end?
in the book, it does. The book shows them all like leaving the factory at the end, but they're all forever changed. Like the fat kid is like 10 feet tall and like super super skinny because he gets stretched going through a pipe. And I don't remember how the others were changed, but I know that every single child that went to that factory
Oh
left
wow!
altered. Yeah,
I just realized I have never read that book.
really. There's a sequel too called Charlie and the Great Glass Elevator.
You
I
saying?
remembered liking it as a kid, and then I reread it as an adult maybe 10 years ago. And
Yeah. Should I read the first book though?
yeah, absolutely. You'd read it in like a day, 2 days tops.
I did just finally read The Neverending Story.
You mean you're still reading it? You can't get
Well, you
done
know,
with that.
you
Well,
know, you know. Uh, it's a lot longer than the movie.
I heard it end. Doesn't the movie end like halfway through the book?
Maybe even a third. Maybe a third of the way.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a whole lot more that happens, and Bastion's kind of a dick.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bastion's a dick.
Is the book a frame story like the movie is? Like Bastion is a kid reading
Yeah,
book in the book.
the
Okay.
the first third,
Mm.
and then Bastion goes to Fantasia
Oh, okay.
and acts like a dick
Acts like a dick.
for about 2 books worth of book.
Wow. Maybe that's why the movie ended where it ended. They were like, listen, we can end the movie here, or we can just get really weird and have the hero become a total dick for
I mean, I
few
think there was
acts.
room for a sequel.
I think there were sequels, but the fact that neither of
I
us have
haven't
seen
seen them.
no.
By the way, I'm having a sober carpenter tonight.
Is that
Uh,
a non-alcoholic beer?
Yes, it's a delicious non-alcoholic beer, and I'm having it in my my new koozie. More
Nice.
of a weed person.
I'm drinking this begrudgingly, but
They
I'm more
they
of a weed
fit.
person.
Honestly, these are tasty now.
Nice.
There's like craft brewers making NA beer.
Well, it's about time.
Well, semi-craft anyway. Athletic makes some really good shit. This is not Athletic. This is Sober Carpenter, and they also make some really good shit.
Are these local Vermont breweries?
No, no. The local craft guys will occasionally make a NA beer. Usually they won't even have one of their own though. And unfortunately, 90% of the time it's fucking IPA if they do. So
Not an IPA fan, huh?
I don't want another IPA as long as I live. I mean, nothing against people who like them.
Sure.
Yay, good for you. But give me another choice. That's all I'm asking.
Yeah, and it's okay to dislike something uh, without disliking the people who use it.
Ah, it's fine.
You're allowed to not like IPAs. I don't think you
Yeah.
need to yeah, that's
You know, and I'm the guy over here who doesn't like IPAs, but I eat Peeps, and
you do love Peeps.
I
Is it
fucking
Peep
love
season yet?
Peeps.
Are they out?
Yes, it's Halloween Peeps.
How many have you had?
I'm rationing myself and going slow. So
Okay.
I ate the snowmen first, and today I finished a pack of jack-o'-lanterns.
Nice. Oh yeah, I guess it's always Peep. In my mind, I was thinking Halloween was Peep season, but
But this is
technically
new.
Easter is Peep season, right?
Easter for a long time was the only Peep season.
Right.
You couldn't get Peeps the rest of the year. But then they realized we can make fucking Christmas Peeps.
Yeah.
And then they made Halloween Peeps. I want to say there was some Thanksgiving, not many, but there might have been some Peeps at Thanksgiving. They didn't do anything for July 4th, and I think they missed out.
A Pearl Harbor Day. Little Pearl Harbor Day Peeps. Like
I could have
where are we going with that?
Peeps all year though.
See, I like the Halloween season because I like candy corn.
Oh, see, I love the candy corn too.
And I know that that's controversial, as is liking Peeps. You know, a few years ago, everybody decided that candy corn was so gross, but I think they're all lying. I think
They are. They're wrong.
no, they are.
They're very, very wrong. Candy corn is amazing.
All right.
Do you ever put dry roasted peanuts in your candy corn?
No.
try it.
Okay.
And again, dry roasted.
It
It's
has to
like
be dry
important.
roast.
Yeah.
Can't
'Cause
be honey roasted.
not the first time. By all means, experiment.
Okay, dry
But you
roasted.
put some dry roasted peanuts in some candy corn and eat them together,
Yeah.
and it's like a payday.
Okay.
And it's
Yeah,
yummy.
I've never been one to mix these things. People put raisinets and popcorn at the movies and things. It sounds good to me mixing stuff, but I'm not much of a mixer on my
Uh,
end.
I don't like raisins, but
Ah,
uh, I
candy
did.
corn and
I
dry
did
roast.
try Whoppers in popcorn, and it's not bad. Whoppers in popcorn is not bad.
Whoppers. Malt.
Yeah,
I don't know what malt is. I know what Whoppers are. Whoppers are pretty good, but
malted
I still don't know what malt it is.
malt is delicious.
Yeah, apparently. So what have you been up to over there?
Oh boy! So living in rural Vermont, uh, it's a different world from the big city. Sorry, by the way. There's a cat in my lap. Uh, the cat decided it was time for a snuggle. And
When cats decide that it's time for a snuggle,
what are you gonna do?
you're
There's a
gonna
cat in
snuggle
my
it.
lap.
Yeah.
Uh, no. So anyway, my friend uh, who lives near me, older gentleman to me, so it's like he's of an advanced age, and we have a nice little deal where he doesn't work; he's retired, so he will, move my snow with his tractor in the winter and do things like that for me because he's got a tractor and I don't, and then I will help him out with some of his technology issues, or occasionally. Uh, Here's a bunch of weed. Would you roll me some joints? Which our background today is that I rolled him 3/4 of an ounce worth of joints, and I like rolling joints.
Yeah.
He appreciates them. It's a nice little trade. But anyway, what I was going to tell you, it's kind of funny. Uh, he calls me the other day and says, I bought a vape pen. I wanted to try that. I bought a vape pen. Damn thing don't work. So I bought another one. It don't work either.
Oh,
Neither one of these things can't get him to do anything. I go, I'm gonna take it back. Well, bring him over and let me look at him. He brings him over and he hands it to me. And truth be told, I have not used a vape pen and I don't remember how long. It's been years. And I couldn't exactly remember how to work them, but I knew I could figure it out.
mhm.
Just trial and error, right? I got to click this button X number of times, something's gonna happen. So I figured out while he's talking. Yeah, and I blew a puff at him. He's like, "You son of a bitch." And then I taught him how to work it. They didn't teach him at the store, which I thought was crazy.
You know,
Like, how?
they're all more complicated than they need to be. Those vape pens. Some of them you don't need to click it all. Some of them you just suck on it right off the bat and it does what it needs to do. But like the one that you're talking about, you probably needed to click it like 5 times to turn it
Yes,
on,
it was
right?
5 times to turn it off and on.
Yeah. Why?
So,
How are
well,
you
because
supposed
if
to know
you
that it's
don't,
okay to?
it gets pressed in your pocket and then it overheats. I've actually experienced that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's tons of fun back in the day. But yeah, I thought they should have explained it, and there were no instructions in the battery because he still had the box, but it
Mhm.
didn't have the instructions. Thought it was weird. So do you like vape pens?
Do I like them?
Yeah. Do you use them?
I do use them. Yeah. I like them because they're convenient. I like them because you can just bring them with you wherever you go. They're pretty discreet. Uh, you know, just kind of duck behind a corner, take a little puff.
Yeah.
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 So I do like them for that. I like them for their discreetness. I don't. I find vaping to be like harsher in some ways than smoking.
That's why I can't do it.
Yeah.
That's why I can't do it. Is it just tears my throat up.
Right. And smoking we know isn't the healthiest thing in the world. It's been decades of research, not as much research on just smoking weed, but vaping. You know, I'm not convinced that vaping isn't worse than smoking.
Depending on the hardware, I definitely agree. That's the
Yeah.
danger. Like a lot of the atomizers that are generating the vapor, i- if you're not careful what that's made of, it can definitely, make some toxic chemicals
Hmm.
off of it. Use the right stuff, it is evidently safer, but who knows where these things are coming from?
Yeah. I don't know that there's much quality check going
I
on.
just I wish they didn't burn my throat because they would come in handy. Like I don't think it would ever be my favorite thing,
Right.
but there's times it would make life so much easier.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's a really nice grab and go thing. I usually have one. I don't have one in
Gonna have
arm's
to
reach right
move.
now, but it's probably in the other room. But yeah, I usually have one just around, a few places around the around the homestead, just to be able to grab and take a quick puff if I need.
But I kind of miss it a little bit too because they're fun.
And we were talking before we came on here that there are some really cool. There we go. Some really cool vaping
Yeah,
apparatuses.
I I don't want to hit the vape pen, but I want one of those.
Yeah, look at that
That's
corn cob
fun.
type. That one at the top left, it looks like Frosty the Snowman.
Like, hey, I got a cool pipe.
Yeah.
Oh, look, it's weed. This is a new one I just saw, which kind of looks like a Zippo, but it's also kind of cheap looking. But it's just funny enough to whip out some night, just, click.
Well, and I am a fidgeter, as I'm sitting here fidgeting with my bolt action pen. So one like that, I remember how much fun I used to have with Zippo lighters.
Oh God, we could make a fidget cube that's a vape battery and make
Wow.
a fortune.
How does such a thing not exist? It might exist.
I
Can we
haven't.
patent this right now? Can we just
I
say
don't know that you
patented?
could patent it, but well, we could make one.
That looks like a lighter.
Yeah, that's a brand new one as well. And and you puff on it out of the little hole in the top of the lighter.
Hmm.
There's a switch is on the bottom of the lighter, but yeah, you just put your little 501 card in there.
See, so is that trying to be like, oh, somebody's gonna think that's a lighter and they'll never suspect, even though it says, what does it say on that? I can't read that small. Does it say Hemper? It
Hemper,
does say
yeah.
Hemper.
That's the company that makes them.
Uh,
Or I shouldn't say that. They're selling a branded one. I'm sure they didn't make it.
mhm.
And you can probably buy these off of Alibaba or something. But no, I think it is slightly discreet,
Yeah,
as far as if you're getting searched going into, I don't know, Disneyland.
right.
Nobody's going to give that two looks. You got a lighter in
Yeah,
your pocket.
and you only look a little bit weird just sucking on a lighter.
Now, once you're in, it's easy to hide.
Right.
It's getting through the metal detector, my friend. That's the trick. I I want the little bear
Yeah. No.
battery.
Where do you smoke from that little beer?
I think the cart screws into the top, so the
Ah.
cart would be sticking out of his head.
Uh.
I think. I didn't see a picture of one in use.
Those bears look super high.
Oh, of course. Those bears are super high. Those bears are super high.
And then I like this tuck in
Those
like a
bears are
sleeve.
super high. Sorry, I thought it bared repeating.
uh,
And yeah,
all
the
right.
one that looks like a
Those
car,
bears are super high.
the one that looks like a car key is kind of fun, but
Yeah,
everybody has one of those. But the one that looks like a multi-tool
right.
is kind of funny.
Hmm. And this right here, that's like, if you have a 10-year-old daughter and you
Or
want
a
to use
10-year-old boy that's
or
in
a
light
10-year-old boy.
blue. It's
You're
in
right.
light blue. Boys and
Or
girls.
and also
Got to
boys
keep
can
gender
like pink.
norms.
Yeah, you're right.
Got to keep gender norms now when we're encouraging the kids to vape.
Yep.
Ain't no son of mine wearing pink or smoking out of a pink vape.
You will smoke out of the blueberry. This one I really like because it looks like a little medical alert necklace. And maybe you could even put that on, like, put the little medical alert thing next to it.
Except for the little dangly
Right.
cart hanging off of it, which is on a lanyard, so you can pull it out.
Yeah, no, that is super
Yee,
cool.
smoke.
That's about as discreet as you get. That's completely hands-free. Almost completely hands-free. Ooh, do
Oh,
they
that
sell
reminds me. Hang on. I'm the
yeah.
gear wizard. We need some gear.
Well, everybody bear with Mickey's going to his cave. What do we have? Oh, I said hands-free. Wow. Wait, is that a vape or is that
No,
or
that's my
that's a
joint.
pipe? That's your joint.
That's my joint is in here, and it's got a little ashtray that hangs underneath it, so you can't spill any ashes.
No.
And you take a hit while you're playing video games
Oh my god, or driving. But mostly
or
playing video
driving.
games.
Oh
Flying a
God.
plane.
Next week, it's a legitimate 1970s made for sticking to the dashboard pipe.
That's what its actual use was. They
That's
were
what
like,
it's actually. It was
stick it to your
marketed as
dashboard.
the dashboard pipe.
That's hilarious.
And oh, I'll show it to you next week.
Well, all cars used to have ashtrays and a cigarette lighter. Remember that? Until like 20 years ago, maybe 10 years ago.
Oh yeah, it was within the last 10 years.
Even the ashtrays, you think?
Yeah, ashtrays have been in some cars stuck around a lot longer.
Huh.
But within the last 10 years, no, it's almost impossible.
Yeah, I don't even think that you could like special. I mean, you could third-party manufacturers. Maybe you're still making car ashtrays, but they're not going to give you one at the dealership.
They don't come with a lighter, but you can still buy the lighters.
You can, so you can go to
Yeah.
like auto parts.
Yeah, you can get a lighter and plug it into the lighter port.
Nice. I used to think those lighters were cool as hell.
And because I was looking at gear, like this isn't for vape pens, it's a dab straw. But I also don't dab. But this makes me want to dab.
So what is the difference between dabbing and vaping? Dabbing is the concentrate, right?
Well, vape is a concentrate, but you're taking the rosin or oil or whatever there and you're mixing it in with, I think, propylene glycol or something to make it oilier so that you can use it in the cart. So it's just a more liquefied form.
Vaping is the more liquefied form.
Yeah. And usually with some other suspended oil in it.
But isn't dabbing like significantly stronger than just a regular vape pen?
Yes. And you'll see different concentrates used with it. Like some are like waxy. There's buttery ones. There's ones that look like almost like crystals swimming in juice, like a goo. Uh, shatter, which is really thin sheets and it breaks apart like glass.
Mm.
So there's all sorts. And you take that in various forms. And the two major ways of doing it are you have what's called a nail, which is really fucking hot. Like that's what they'll have the torch to heat those up. And then you put this on or in the nail and inhale it usually through some sort of water pipe. So you're just burning up though. It's anywhere from 80 to 95% THC concentrate.
Okay.
And it's like a vape pen but a lot harsher
Right.
and a lot stronger.
So like one hit of a dab pen is maybe like 10 hits of a regular vape.
It could be less, but
Oh.
yeah, much more intense.
Yeah, I don't know. Shatter.
Then
That's like if you want to smoke weed but look like you're smoking crystal meth. Buy shatter.
But if you don't want to smoke much,
Uh-huh.
you just want to get high. It has its points, and I know people. That's their thing. They just want
I do too.
to get the effect. They don't want to smoke. They don't like the smell, the odor. Where I'm the opposite, and I don't dab mainly because I don't ever need to be that high, and if I am, no matter how much I dab, I'm smoking a joint. Like I get done, and it's like, okay, let's light up a joint now because I need to smoke.
Right.
It's what I do. But this guy is what they call a dab straw. So that you can see there's that glass tip that comes out, like a little glass straw. You heat that up to like 400, 500 degrees, and then you dip it in the concentrate while you inhale at the other end.
Mm.
And this one has a little bubble in the middle that has water in it, so you're bubbling it like going through a bong.
Mm.
But then it's got the little holder. I just think it's a cool toy.
It looks really cool. It looks like a
I
little green lantern.
yeah, I know. I want one.
Yeah.
I have no use for it, but I want it.
I mean, you never know when a dabber might come around.
Or like this. See, they have spare
There's a lot going
nails
on there.
here. Yeah, spare nails. Although you don't really call it a nail anymore when it's like that. The old nails actually look like a nail. This is more properly called a banger. That's a banger. And so
Which
that
is the
goes
banger? That little spoon
the
thing? That's
glass,
the
no, the
banger?
glass thing here. I don't know if you can see my mouse. You can't see my mouse.
I can't see your
The
mouse.
piece of glass on the right that has a bowl at the end.
You're right or my right?
You're right.
My right. Yes.
Oops. Sadly,
Yeah,
oh no, no, that does not do what I want it to do. I don't have a pen for
that's all
this
right.
one. We're gonna do this different next time. But yeah, so that's the banger, and that's where you put the dab when you dip it in there, and you heat that up really high. And then they've got the Q-tips with a little alcohol thing in the middle, so you can dip the Q-tip in the alcohol to wipe up your banger and make it all clean. That's a carb cap that goes on top of it. And then that's the little spoon that you dip the dabs. The gold thing that's sticking up is a little spoon. You dip the dabs out. So everything you need except the bong, uh, which they call a rig when you dab. And it's actually there's a reason. It's not just a name. But it's all there in this one little cute silicone holder. I love toys like this. I love toys like this as much as I love weed. True
Tapping
story.
seems like a lot of work.
Oh, it is. It's a whole lot of work. And then you got the big torch. So
It's
I'm
almost
gonna,
worth it for the big torch.
I'm gonna get really high and then play with fire.
Absolutely. Not just fire, but like a blowtorch
Yeah,
fire. Like something that could probably melt bone.
that is not a good hobby for my ADHD ass.
No.
No. So I bought a rig. I experimented. I did. I gave it a try. It's not for me.
And you're a big bong lover.
Oh, I fucking love bongs. I do. I love bongs.
And a rig is just a bong for
For dabbing.
dabbing.
They are typically much smaller.
Oh,
And
those
have
little
less
mini
water.
ones. Okay.
Yeah. They're much smaller because you you don't want to cool it down as much. You want a much shorter path to get to you to get the most potency and some other reason I don't remember. But I remember there was a reason why you wanted a rig to be smaller than a typical bong.
Yeah.
Where sometimes you kind of want the big bong.
Sometimes you do.
What's the biggest bong you ever smoked out of?
Oh, when I was in high school or shortly after high school, I want to say it was. I had to stand on a step stool. I would say it was 5 or 6 feet. It was a big
Yeah.
boy. Yeah, it was a big one.
Was it glass?
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah. But this was a long time ago. But yeah, it was probably 6 feet is in my head. So if they make them 6 feet, then it was a 6 foot.
Mine. I don't remember. It had to be 6 feet, but it was
Yeah.
in the days before glass bongs.
Then
And
maybe it wasn't glass. I mean, I said yeah,
well, I'm
but
older,
I'm guessing
so.
not. Okay,
But
that is
a
true.
friend of mine had gone out and made this giant bong out of PVC pipe.
Nice.
Yeah, it was definitely a two-person thing. That was my biggest bong ever. It was probably 5, to be told.
And I don't think that extra foot between 5 feet and 6 feet, I don't think it would make that much of a difference. Either way, you're filling your lungs with a giant amount of smoke all at once. And,
Yes, you are.
yeah, and you're going to cough for about 2 minutes straight and then lay down and stare at the ceiling.
This is my favorite dab rig, though. Because they make them now where you've got an electric nail. They call it an e-nail sometimes. And you just put your dab in this thing and it heats up electrically. And sometimes you can get away from a lot of the big elaborate devices and use something like this. And this is one that they cleverly then hide in a glass pipe so it looks like a Sherlock. Or maybe even a Gandalf.
More like a Gandalf.
Yeah, that's a Gandalf. I'm high.
So was Gandalf. Was Gandalf high? Was Gandalf
Mm-hmm.
smoking? Was that weed that he was smoking? Was that weed? Or Middle Earth version of weed?
I mean, we can only interpret, but as a stoner,
Yeah.
everyone I know, yes, assumes that is weed.
Well, yeah, and there's
Uh,
in the first movie he's smoking like with one of the, I don't know, Merry or Pippin. 20 years later, I still don't know which one of them is which, but he's smoking with one of them, and they definitely are high, like 100%.
and what's the line? Your love of the Hobbit's leaf has dulled your mind.
Yes.
Yes, he was smoking weed.
Yeah.
He was smoking that long bottom leaf. Long bottom leaf.
You know, I feel like I'd get along well with the hobbits.
The Hobbits had it right.
They did. They just wanted to be left alone. Ate 11 meals a day. Got high. Did gardening, presumably.
Some of them.
Yeah.
The rest of them got Sam and his dad to do their gardening.
There you go. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
think didn't look like there was like a ton of industry happening.
No, but you had your little Hobbit jobs. Working at the inn. Some gardening, some orcharding, fishing. Oh, only some of them would fish, though. Those river hobbits.
Which Smeagol was one of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
He loved
was.
fish. His only wish was to catch a fish, so juicy sweet.
That poor fucker.
He brought it on himself.
Well, I mean, the ring did it to him.
The moral of the story is, if you find a strange ring at the bottom of a lake, just leave it be. Don't kill your friend over it and go hide in a cave for 200 years or 1,000 years or whatever it is and forget your name and forget where you come from. Just leave it be. Leave jewelry in lakes.
They should have had Bugs Bunny come in.
Yeah.
Bugs Bunny could have totally picked up that ring, walked into fucking Mordor, and dropped it in the volcano. No problem. Would
Well, that's
not have
because
been corrupted.
you're saying Bugs Bunny is like the purest soul of all.
I wouldn't say pure. He's like chaotic good. Yes, Bugs Bunny is extremely good, but he's just chaotic good, and
Is he?
he's
I would
somewhat
have called him
uncorruptible.
chaotic neutral.
Maybe. Nah, he usually does the right thing.
Yeah, he just likes to really fuck with that hunter, with Elmer Fudd.
Elmer deserves it.
He does, of
He's
course.
trying to kill him.
Yeah,
He's trying to kill him, and he doesn't kill him back.
you're right. I mean, he shoots him a lot, but all it does is make his hair fly back and he just gets stood
Yeah,
on.
he just wounds him a little bit.
Yeah.
It's all in fun.
I want to get a hunting rifle that just puts soot on whoever gets shot. Soot makes the hat. Wouldn't his hat used to get shredded?
His hat would get shredded for sure.
Yeah. We digress.
That's
It
what
smells
we
like weed
do.
here. It's true.
What we do. Speaking of what we do,
Is it time for terpene of the week?
should we do weed you?
We should do weed you
Should do weed you.
because this is a teachable moment.
So yes, once again, it is terpenes. And our lovely science slide. But this week we're going to talk about myrcene.
Have mercy.
Guess what's
Been waiting all week to use that joke.
I was not going. Honestly, it never occurred to me, and now I'm kind of embarrassed that I didn't think of it.
Oh, good. I'm embarrassed that I did think of it. So,
Myrcene, guess what it tastes like?
I'm thinking it either tastes like mango or chains.
Definitely smells like mango. Yes.
Smells like mango. Tastes like.
Or okay, that's stretching it. It is fruity. It doesn't smell like mango, but mango's fucking full of it.
Mango's
There
full
is mango is full of myrcene, and we're gonna learn how to make that work for us, kids. So I know some of you out there are like, can I get higher? How high
Yeah.
can I get? Can I get too high? You cannot get too high. But I don't know. Sometimes you can get high enough. But if you want to get higher,
I've been too high.
you want to max out your high. You want to max out your. Maybe you just got a little bit of bud. You want to get as high as you can get off your tiny amount of bud. Here's what you do: 45 minutes before you're gonna smoke, you eat you a mango. Eat you a big fucking mango.
How important is the timing here?
Very,
Okay.
very, because you need to digest it. You want to digest it and get it in your bloodstream. You don't want to wait too long because then it is no longer in your bloodstream. What you're shooting for is, I ate a mango. The mango is full of myrcene. Myrcene gets in my bloodstream. Myrcene in my bloodstream is making those cells that attract your cannabinoids, your cannabinoid receptors. It's making them more permeable so they can take in more of that sweet, sweet THC, CBD, CBG, CBN, whatever it is that you're chasing. You're getting more of it in the cells if you have the myrcene ahead of you.
Found only in mangoes.
No, it's not found only in mangoes, but if you got to eat something full of myrcene, you could have a mango or you could have a handful of cloves.
I will
Yummy,
take the mango.
yummy, yummy cloves.
I'll take the mango.
But that is maybe why when you were a teenager, you like to smoke them clove cigarettes, and
did,
that
actually. I
kind of
went through
makes
a
me feel
phase.
pretty good. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's full of myrcene. But no, seriously, eat that mango. It will elevate your high. More bang for your buck.
How much are we talking?
I mean, it will vary, I'm sure.
Sure.
Depends on how you absorb myrcene. I don't know. But
But it's worth trying.
here's the thing. If it doesn't work, You had a mango and you got high.
Yeah. Oh, carrots and bell pepper as well.
Carrots and bell pepper. Not as much, but they still have a decent amount. Cloves, apricots, hops. A lot of myrcene. And
Yeah, just
hops,
drink a
which
bunch of
go
beer.
into beer.
Yeah.
Which shouldn't be a huge surprise because hops, there's some other reasons why hops are a little bit related to weed.
I think we covered one of those last week, but I might
We
be.
did. We
Okay.
did. Caryophyllene
Caryophyllene,
is also in the hops.
our old
Uh,
friend caryophyllene.
but again, a lot of things are because weed, cannabis, and hops. We might even talk more about that at some point. Man, craft beer, craft weed, it's closer than you think. Uh, but where was I going? Oh no, fuck it. Let's just say it now. So with hops, if you don't know much about hops, there's as many strains of hops as there are of weed. And your craft beer makers are out there chasing these different hops down to try to get the different flavors out of them to make unique and different beers and better flavors and things. They're chasing the terpenes. And it's not an accidental thing. Like I have gone to their discussion rooms and things and seeing them discuss these terpenes, man. Here's what I want. I want this strain because it has the, and they're talking about the different strains of the hops with the different terpenes in them, like a lot of your craft weed growers now are doing. They're breeding, chasing these terpenes and trying to increase the level of them to get the better flavors and the better effects. There's a lot of similarities
Hmm.
in the two movements. And they center around our wonderful terpene friends. So it's like
Small
terpenes,
batch artisanal.
small batch artisanal weed. And like the good craft weed guys now, there's a I should have made a slide of this. There's a QR code on every bottle of weed, and many of the growers do this. I scan that code and I can see not only the potency test that was run, all, and they're testing for like 8 or 9, 12 cannabinoids now. So you see CBG levels. Like this actually has a pretty high CBG level. I didn't know. But a lot of them now also are having it tested for terpenes, and you've got a list of the terpene profiles.
Nice.
And you can see what you're smoking if you're into that sort of thing. Also, though, fuck, man, these guys are making some good weed. You know, it's just you may chase, you may just go, oh, it's yummy, tasty, and it gets me really, really pretty high.
Exactly.
But yeah, there's a lot of myrcene out there. It's in like 200 varieties of food. It's a fairly common. It's not the most common, but it's up there. Now another one, verbena. Look at that, 40% myrcene by weight. That's a lot of myrcene. I guess you could chew up some verbena leaves.
Is that a commonly found thing? I'm looking at
No,
those leaves and I'm like, I don't know that I've ever
Oh
seen
yeah, the
a verbena
garden.
leaf.
You see them a lot of times in people's yards as a garden
Really?
plant.
Okay.
We had a verbena when we lived in Austin.
Verbena
It's
tree, very
it is used
pretty,
in
and the verbena flower is sweet. Sorry.
like I don't know. I've had like seen verbena scented lotions and things as well. So it's harvested for its essential oils.
So eat some lotion before smoking pot, is what you're saying.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Please
Yeah.
don't. No one do that.
No, just chew the leaves. Just chew the leaves.
Yeah,
No,
don't eat lotion.
do not chew verbena leaves. I don't even know if they're poisonous or not. Do not chew verbena leaves. Do not take. Don't take my advice after I told you to eat the mangoes, which you should take that advice. But
Both the leaves and flowers are edible.
okay, good. So yeah, fuck it. Eat some verbena.
Yeah, eat them. They're bitter, quite bitter. It says, but you won't die.
Hey, some people are into that sort of thing.
True.
I had a bitter beer. Myrcene is the most common terpene you're going to find in cannabis. So it's in a lot of things. Why does cannabis make you kind of relaxed? A lot of it. Myrcene. Myrcene is the terpene queen. There's a song there somewhere, but I ain't got time to think of it. Okay, now here's what's fucking cool. And I'm sorry the slide got messed
Oh,
up,
hashish.
evidently.
Is that NE supposed to be on there?
It's
NE?
it's HASHISHENE. It's a new terpene, hashishene.
Oh, I thought that was
And
just
by
like
new,
hashish.
I
Like,
mean nobody had ever noticed this before until very, very recently. It was an unknown terpene because it only exists, and now they're finding out this is about 98% true. So 98, 99% of all the hashishene, as it's called, in the
hashish.
world is found not just in hash, but specifically Moroccan hash. It has to be Moroccan hash is the only place you find this terpene.
Well, where am I supposed to get Moroccan hash?
Morocco. No, oddly enough, anywhere in Europe. This this is what most people in Europe smoke because weed is illegal in many places in Europe. Weed is hard to smuggle.
Uh,
They have access to Moroccan hash, which is not easy, but easier to smuggle because it's small and compact, and you only need a little bit of it to get high. So, yeah, you don't. Where would I ever see this in Europe? This is what people smoke all the fucking time. Like, that's what you can get. I know.
legally or no?
No, not even
Okay.
legally, but like when I went to Norway recently, my friends were like, uh, we were we got some flour because we knew where you were coming, but they mostly smoke hash because that's flour's hard to come by,
Yeah.
and most of it comes in from Morocco, which is just across the Mediterranean. So here's the thing: in Morocco, the way they cure the weed when they take it off the plant is they just put it on the roof and they let the sun dry it. The hot, hot Moroccan sun, full of UV rays, baking this fucking weed. Whereas most of us are going to put it in a closet, we're going to dry it out in the closet and keep it in the dark. Uh, no, it's in the hot, hot sun. And then they, when it's fully dry, they start sifting it to get the trichomes to fall off the flower. Also in the sun. So all of this oxygen and UV rays, where again, when we cure weed, it's in the dark, and a lot of times it's in an airless bottle, and then we let the humidity out and we keep it out of the air again because we don't want the oxygen breaking shit down.
Right.
In hash, oh, it's breaking down, baby. And the myrcene is turning into this new terpene, hashishene.
Well, now I'm on a quest. Now I need to find some Moroccan weed or Moroccan
Moroccan
hash.
Moroccan hash is it's good. Like if you're into hash, it is fucking good hash.
Do they sell hash at dispensaries?
I have not seen any here. I used to get some in Colorado. It was mostly American hash, which is either like bubble hash or some sort of a cold extraction hash,
Mm-hmm.
and not the Moroccan hash. I found one dispensary in Denver that
That
that would
that had Moroccan hash.
they would regularly carry Moroccan hash. It was expensive, but I don't know. It's an experience.
Yeah,
It's
an experience because hashishene.
yeah. Turns
Yeah.
out because of that.
Who knew? No one until recently.
So, and here's what's really funny. Guess how they found out? How they
Let me
found
see
it?
if I can hold on. I used to drink Heffenreffer, which had the little puzzles based on
Yeah,
3 pictures. So,
I made this puzzle, by the way.
all right. So the scientists asked this drug dog, and the drug dog said, "Fuck you, scientists. I'm not telling you anything." They said, and then the robot dog told them. The robot dog found the hashishene.
Right. No.
No.
No, the scientists were trying to figure out a way to get rid of the drug sniffing dogs and replace them with robots.
Oh, okay. Good.
So they were trying to no fuck these guys because they're helping the pigs, man. Uh,
Well, but these dogs are helping the pigs against their wishes.
okay,
No
fair
dog
enough.
wants to be a
Fair
narc.
enough. Yeah, let's save the dogs.
Right.
Okay. So okay, I'm sorry, scientists. Uh, but yeah, so they're trying to get a scent profile. And what they're testing, because they're in Paris, is 15 grams of Moroccan hash is where they're pulling their scent profile. And they realize, what's this? This doesn't match anything we've ever seen before.
Mhm.
And that's how we discovered hashishene. And that's why they named it hashishene. Because you can only find it in hash
Very cool.
or flour that is left in high amounts of oxygen and high UV rays, like you would get in northern Africa. So hashishene, it's herbaceous, it's spicy, it's earthy, it's musky.
Everyone's favorite scent.
And
Musk.
again, kind of herbal, but kind of an earthy herbal, a dirty herbal.
Mm.
A little bit of cloves maybe, so it's just a touch of spice. Gets mixed in with a lot of other stuff. Who knows? Again, what you're looking for there, though, a lot of times is what's dominant. You're going to have 4, 5, 6 terpenes, 6 of the big ones, sometimes in flour, but there's high levels of 1 or 2, and that's where you're going to pick up the most effects. Sometimes, the 2 of them will mix, and you may not get cloves because something else is overtaking it. But I digress. It's
You
a rule
do.
of thumb. But when it's dominant, then's when you might get that sweet or fruity flavor, like a mango,
It all
which is
comes back
also a
to
little different from
mangoes.
your other fruits. There's something I don't know how to describe it, but there's something in the palate, I guess, that it smells a little different in my taste buds, if that makes any sense.
Now I'm sitting here thinking about whether or not I've even ever had a mango in my
No,
entire life.
really? Oh
I know
wow,
I've had
you
mango
should.
juice for sure.
You should. It's good.
I've had mango like flavored things, but I'm not sure if I've ever had like a fresh mango. And even though we just saw pictures of them a little while ago, I'm not even sure how. Does it have a pit? Does it have skin? I don't know. I don't think I've had a
I've never
mango.
cut one myself. I've had them served. I think it has a pit.
Okay,
And there is a skin. But oh, there's a fruiteria. I never know how to pronounce that word anymore because I don't live
sure.
there. But
One of
there's
those.
one on North Lamar that makes some really good stuff with mango in it, and you can get some tahini on it. Boy, do that.
Okay.
Do that. It is yummy. So yeah, think mango. What's it gonna do for me? So not knowing what it was, plants that are high in myrcene have been used as sleep aids for centuries. Anti-inflammatory effects, so it's great if you have rheumatism, arthritis, any sort of inflammatory stuff. And keep in mind, you don't just have to smoke this. You can get creams that are infused
Mhm.
with full spectrum extracts, and they'll still have a lot of these terpenes in them. Anti-anxiety, analgesic, which is going to help with pain. I can definitely attest to that. Also, the anti-anxiety, it's good for that. I like to think, especially with this one, is I have anxiety, and this is weed that doesn't make me anxious.
Always a good thing.
Whereas there's a couple of terpenes I have to stay away from because if I'm not in a social situation, it's not a good time.
Yeah.
If I'm in a social situation, I'm usually down, but depends on what it is. So antipsychotic, they think. They're starting to see that this could help with some psychotic symptoms, uh, psychosis, that is, muscle
Could
relaxant,
help
which
all of us.
which kind of goes
To
along.
us in my head.
And this is weird. They feel like, and not feel like, they've seen this in studies on mice, that it helps control the growth of existing cancers. It may also help prevent some cancers,
Oh,
but
sign me up.
it slowed the growth of tumors
That's a big one.
in rats. Now the flip side, because we have to be fair, we have to be honest. There have been some studies that show that it in high concentrations, when taken as a food additive, to be specific, that it could be carcinogenic itself. Not like, oh my God, it's nicotine, but one of those, well, you might have had this much percentage and now you have this much,
Okay.
which big picture is probably not a lot, but it's enough that anything that might have myrcene in it in California may be labeled as possibly being carcinogenic. Uh, the FDA did go back later and they said that their belief is that you would have to consume this in insane amounts as a food additive. Not in any sort of normal dosage, but like, I'm going to eat me a bowl of myrcene
Right. So
every
there's really
day.
no way that this would accidentally happen.
I think it's worth mentioning. If you're on the careful side, don't eat myrcene. Well, don't eat it as an additive.
The
Is the
raw,
thing. Yeah,
undiluted form. You
yeah.
can still have
Normal.
mangoes.
Eat a mango.
Yeah.
But smoke
Or
some weed.
some cloves.
You're fine. Smoking it, nobody said was a problem.
Yeah.
Oh, also never touch, like, if anybody gives you, hey, I made some myrcene. I have some raw undeleted myrcene that I'm going to use as a food additive. Do not touch it.
Right. Gloves.
It will
I keep
irritate
gloves
you.
on me just in
And
case, just
and
because of all
and
the times people are coming up to me and giving me
and
myrcene.
never eat a spoonful of it.
Right. It will
What-
burn a hole straight
What's
through
the
your throat.
saying? You can eat all mushrooms once.
I haven't heard that saying, but I like it.
Yeah, all mushrooms are edible once.
Yeah.
Same thing with undiluted myrcene. Now, where can I find myrcene? These are just some of the strains, of course. Some of these I picked, however, definitely the ones at the top. It just so happens these are some of my favorite strains. Uh, Now, again, myrcene's in a lot of weed, so still, these have been known to have some higher levels, like Remedy, which again, honestly, is usually a CBD strain for me. It's always a high CBD strain, and Harlequin is the same. I used to smoke a lovely little Harlequin strain when I was in Boulder. My medical dispensary always had Harlequin. Nice little daytime smoke because you're not going to get high. You're not going to get too high. You get a little high, but can't get too high. You can smoke a lot of it. Very relaxing. 9 Pound Hammer, I fucking love. Grape Ape, White Widow. Love me some White Widow. But then you got to sing the Billy Idol song. It's a nice day for some White Widow.
Yeah, what a classic. Og Kush. Who doesn't like some Og Kush?
Blue Dream. Love some Blue Dream. So yeah.
Eddie Perp.
And do you know what FPOG is?
I believe it stands for French Promenade Original Gangsta. I have no idea.
I
one
like
of those
it.
words right?
I like it. No, none of them. So remember we were talking about how you couldn't call Girl Scout cookies anymore?
I do.
You got to call it GSC now
Yeah.
because of the lawsuit. So this is Fruity Pebbles.
What's the OG stand for then?
Fruity Pebbles OG, original.
All right,
Fruity
so
Pebbles
I
OG, original
had one
gangsta.
word. Oh,
So yeah.
2 words right.
And then you came up with 2 because you said
Yeah.
original gangster.
I
So
did.
yeah. That's right. I'm sorry. You did get 2 right.
No, it's okay.
I was focusing on the pebbles.
You were.
Do you like Fruity Pebbles more than Chocolate Pebbles?
Yeah, of course I do.
I didn't.
Really? See, I mean, Chocolate Pebbles to me just tastes like any other chocolate cereal with that consistency. But Fruity Pebbles, the milk that's left behind. In a bowl of Fruity Pebbles,
Yeah. You got me. Cereal milk with Fruity Pebbles is awesome.
Nothing better.
Yeah.
Except for maybe Cinnamon Toast Crunch Milk.
I had a Rice Krispies treat that was made with Fruity Pebbles.
Oh.
So good.
Okay.
I was really high, but
Well, of course.
I always am.
It's illegal to eat something like that if you're not really high.
Yeah,
But that sounds amazing.
But I always am.
Do you remember Rice Krispies Treats cereal?
I only had it like once, but it was good.
Dude, it was so good.
You ever have Peep cereal?
No, is that a real thing?
It is.
Is it
At
new?
at Easter. A couple years now. 3 or 4.
Is it just marshmallows and no
No,
grain?
there's like cereal rings
Yeah.
that are kind of vanilla-y flavored, and actually kind of tasty. They got a little
Nice.
coating on them, and then marshmallows, all different colors of marshmallows,
You can't have anything called Peeps without marshmallows.
and it's very peepsy. It's
Nice.
like, oh, it's so good, and it makes really good cereal milk.
I bet.
If you use the vanilla almond milk, especially, then it's like, oh.
Yeah, you like the almond milk?
But the vanilla, they do have almond milk with vanilla in it.
Gotta be vanilla. Okay.
Oh, so good. Nah, the regular is fine. It's fine. Oh, now you're making me think of my cupcake.
Yeah. Before we
Okay.
go, you should tell everybody
So
about
before we go, I'm
giveaway.
going to tell you the saddest cupcake story ever.
I wish we had a sound effect right now. I
And
feel
it
like
goes
there should be,
without
like,
saying.
some slow piano music playing in the background.
I'll light up for this. So my wife comes home yesterday afternoon, and she says, "Hey, I brought you half a cupcake." And I don't think anything of it. I'm half paying attention, like, "Yay, cupcake! I like cupcakes. I'll eat it later." And she kind of told me a story about why it was half a cupcake, and I half listened. I mean, I fully listened, but uh, when you're in that zone, it just kind of you process it and then it goes away.
You did your
But
best.
but it was something along the lines of I didn't want a whole cupcake, so I just cut it in half, and I was going to eat half and leave half, but I brought the other half to you. I thought of you and thought you might like a cupcake, which was so sweet. So after dinner, I smoke a little more. I get high. Honestly, it was this. It was the first joint I had rolled up of this blueberry muffin. So, I got high. Say, oh, I'm gonna go eat that cupcake. And friends, I don't know if it's just because I was high. I don't think so because I'm always high and I eat a lot of food when I'm high. This might have been the best half of a cupcake I ever had in my life. It was a caramel, and then there was caramel in the whipped cream too, and it was a like deep dark caramel, like somebody had slaved over this car. It was so good. It was. I wanted another cupcake, and like I want another one of these cupcakes. I'm like, where did this come from? So I can go get one. I don't know. There was a tray that said leftover from a meeting. Take a cupcake. So I just took one. I have no idea where this cupcake came from. And it was at that moment that it hit me that that's it. That's the only time you're going to get to taste that cupcake. It's my unicorn now. I don't even know how to search for this cupcake. But I'm going to look at it. I'm going to look at it this way. I had some.
It is better to have had a cupcake and lost and to never have a cupcake again
Right. What
than
if
to
I had
have never had a cupcake
never had a
at all.
cupcake at all?
So if anyone ever discovers this show later on and is listening and is from the New England area and they
Hanover,
Hanover,
New Hampshire, to be
Hanover, New
specific.
Hampshire, and they know of a place that has a deep, deep caramel cupcake that would make an old man cry because he can't have it again.
Because they can't have it again.
Please.
Hook me up. Hook
And
me
if
up.
you hook, and if you get hooked up, please let me know so that I can try one too, and I can also fall in love, because that's what I need in my life is to fall in love with even more sweets.
Oh man, I love them.
Oh, I love them too. Comes with the weed, doesn't it? And on that note,
change your bong water.
Change your bong water. It's been a pleasure. Thanks for joining
Time to
us.
change the bong water.
And as always, as long as we can remember our login info next week, we will see you right here on Gear Wizard TV.
I never know how to end these things.
Change your bong water, everybody.
Rock on, my friends. We'll see you next time.